Hello and welcome to Easy Commerce. Today in this video we will be discussing the topic bill of exchange and we will be discussing the subtopics definition, features, parties involved, kinds of bill of exchange, its advantages and difference between bill of exchange and promissory note. Here is a definition given for bills of exchange. According to Section 5 of the Negotiable Instruments Act, a bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Now we will see the important features of bill of exchange. First main feature of a bill of exchange is that it is a written instrument. A bill of exchange must be in writing. Any oral or verbal order is not a bill of exchange. Another feature is that it must contain an order to pay. The order to pay should be a definite order. It should not be vague and it should not be in the form of a request. It must be an order which is given to someone to pay a certain amount. A bill of exchange should be an unconditional order. The order to pay must be unconditional. It must contain an unconditional and express order to pay. It should not be subject to the happening of some event or any unforeseen events which will happen in future. It should not be based on that. That is why an important feature of bill of exchange is that it is unconditional without any conditions. A bill of exchange should be signed by the maker of the instrument, or else the instrument will be invalid. The parties to a bill of exchange are drawer, drawee, and payee. Sometimes the drawer and the payee may be the same person. The amount of money payable through a bill of exchange should be certain and it must be paid in legal tender. For example, an order to pay rupees 5,000 or rupees 2,000 is not a valid bill of exchange. The bill of exchange is an order which must be made in order to pay a certain amount of money only. A bill of exchange can be payable on demand or otherwise. When a bill of exchange is payable on demand, it is known as demand bill. And if it is payable after a specified period of time, then it is known as time bill. Bill of exchange requires acceptance of debtor. If the debtor is accepted the bill of exchange, then it is valid, or else it is just a draft which has no value. A bill of exchange is valid only if it is stamped according to the Stamp Act. Now we will see who and all are the parties to a bill of exchange. The parties involved in a bill of exchange are drawer, drawee, payee, and the acceptor. Drawer. Who is a drawer? Drawer is a person who is the maker of the bill of exchange. Whoever is preparing the bill of exchange, we can call him as drawer. Drawee, the person who is directed by the drawer to pay the money. Then the payee, the person whose name is mentioned in the instrument. While preparing the bill of exchange, whose name is mentioned in the instrument, that person can be called as payee. And finally, the acceptor, the person who accepts the bill of exchange on behalf of the drawee. Sometimes it can be the drawee himself or else a person assigned by the drawee. Other parties who may involved in a preparation of bill of exchange are endorser. Endorser means the person who endorses the instrument to any other person. The person who endorses the instrument to any other person, that person can be called as endorser. And endorsee. Endorsee means the person to whom the bill is endorsed. Another party may be holder. Holder means the person holding the bill of exchange, or the person who has the right to possess the bill of exchange in his own name and who will be having the right to receive the amount. and another person drawee in case of need. Drawee in case of need means nothing but an additional person. Apart from the drawee, an additional name, an additional person can be given in the bill of exchange, and who is called as a drawee in case of need. Now let's take what are the advantages of a bill of exchange. It is a written verification of debt. A bill of exchange is a written document. So once it is accepted, it is considered as a signed acknowledgement from the part of the debtor. And if the debtor fails to pay the amount, the bill of exchange can be enforced in the court of law. Another advantage is that it is a negotiable instrument. As it is negotiable, that means transferable, it increases the commercial transactions. Why? Because the mutual indebtedness or the easy way of transaction is possible, so the commercial transactions can be increased. Another advantage is that the exact knowledge of the date of payment, on which date the amount is going to be paid by the debtor, is available. So it will be easier for the debtor as well as the creditor, as the debtor comes to know that when he has to make the payment, and the creditor also comes to know that when he will receive the payment. Another advantage is that cash payable, that is immediate cash payment is possible. The holder or payee of bill of exchange can obtain immediate payment without waiting for the full period or date of maturity of the bill. That means in case of emergency, the payee can get the bill discounted with any of the bank and he can recover the amount. Another advantage, easy transfer of money. Money can be easily transferred merely by signing and delivery of a piece of paper. Obviously, the bill of exchange is a piece of paper and it is easily transferred merely by signing it. Then the credit facility. The bill of exchange enables a person to purchase a goods on credit. If amount is not available in hand, he can use the bill of exchange and he will get the goods as credit. Promotion of foreign trade. Through the use of bill of exchange, the foreign trade is possible, and it is very easy to settle more international obligations through the bill of exchange. Next, financial help. The bill of exchange can be drawn and accepted to raise loans. So these are the advantages of bill of exchange. Kinds of bill of exchange. A bill of exchange can be classified on the basis of time, on the basis of place, on the basis of objective or usage, on the basis of receiver, and on the basis of documents. On the basis of time, bill of exchange can be classified into demand bill and time bill. Demand bills are also known as sight bills. A demand bill is the one which is payable on demand. It is payable immediately on presentation of the document. So no time for payment is mentioned in the document. Time bill is also called as usance bill, and which is payable only after the expiry of a fixed period. Thus, a bill of exchange drawn payable at 3 months after the date it is drawn is a time bill. On the basis of place, a bill of exchange can be classified into inland bill and foreign bill. Inland bill is a bill of exchange which is drawn and payable in the same country. Foreign bill means a bill drawn in one country upon person in a foreign country and is payable in a foreign country. There will be two scenarios in the case of foreign bill of exchange. First one, a bill drawn in India but payable outside India, and the other condition is a bill drawn outside India and is payable in India. Both are examples of a foreign bill of exchange. On the basis of objective or usage, bill of exchange can be of two types: trade bill and accommodation bill. A trade bill is a bill drawn in respect of a trade transaction. That means a bill which is drawn by the seller on the buyer in respect of the payment of the price of goods sold. Accommodation bill is the one which is drawn, accepted or endorsed without receiving any value thereof. Normally, these bills are drawn to raise loans. On the basis of receiver, a bill of exchange can be of two types, bearer bill and order bill. Bearer bill is a bill the amount of which is payable for any person who present for payment. That means whoever is presenting the bill of exchange for payment, the amount will be given to that particular person. That is called bearer bill. Order bill is a bill of exchange which is payable to a certain person whose name is in the bill or his order. So, in order to get the amount, his name should be mentioned in the bill. On the basis of documents, bill of exchange can be classified into documentary bill and clean bill. Documentary bill means when bill of exchange is delivered to the banker along with the other documents, such as if railway receipt is there or bill of lading is there. If such documents are accompanied with the bill of exchange, then it is called as documentary bill. Then another classification is clean bill. When no documents of title to the goods are enclosed, then it is a clean bill. That means only bill of exchange will be presented to the banker, not any other documents. Then it is a clean bill. If documents are accompanied with the bill of exchange, then it will be a documentary bill. Now we will see what are the differences between a bill of exchange and a promissory note. Promissory note complete topics have been already uploaded and I can give the link in the description box. Now we will check what are the differences between a bill of exchange and a promissory note. First important difference is the bill of exchange is drawn by the creditor and the promissory note is drawn by the debtor. A bill of exchange is an order to pay, whereas a promissory note is a promise to pay. We have already seen a bill of exchange is prepared by the creditor. He has to get the amount. So it is an order to pay the amount. So it's an order given to the debtor to pay the amount on a prescribed date. So in the case of promissory note is prepared by the debtor who has to give the amount. So it's a promise made by the debtor that I'll give the amount on a particular date. In the case of bill of exchange, acceptance of the drawee is necessary before it is presented for payment. But in the case of promissory note, it does not need to be accepted. There are three parties involved in bill of exchange: the drawer, the drawee and the payee. But in the case of a promissory note, only two parties are involved: the maker and the payee. In the case of bill of exchange, the drawer and the payee can be one and the same person, but it is not possible in the case of a promissory note. 3 copies are made in the case of foreign bill of exchange, but only 1 copy is needed in the case of a foreign promissory note. The acceptors of a bill of exchange have a joint liability, but the makers of a promissory note are jointly and severally liable. A bill payable at sight need not be stamped, while a promissory note payable at sight need to be stamped. In the case of bills of exchange, notice of dishonor must be given by the holder to the drawer and all previous endorsers in order to make them liable. But in the case of promissory note, no notice of dishonor need to be given to the maker. Bill of exchange can be made payable to the bearer, but promissory note cannot be made payable to the bearer. In the case of bill of exchange, the liability of the drawer is secondary and conditional. It is based upon the non-payment by the drawee. But in the case of a promissory note, the liability of the maker is primary and absolute. A bill of exchange can be drawn in sets. As we have already discussed in the case of foreign bills, generally it will be drawn in sets of 2 or 3 in order to avoid the loss while in transit. But in the case of a promissory note, it cannot be drawn in sets. Noting is necessary in the case of a dishonor of a bill of exchange. Noting means when a bill gets dishonored, it should be noted and certified by a notary public. But noting is not necessary in the case of a promissory note. Now let's check the concept acceptance of bill of exchange. Acceptance is nothing but the signature of the drawee, and this signature should be there upon the bill. Through this signature, he is giving his assent, and this should be delivered, and it should be informed to the holder or to the some person on his behalf, that his assent should be informed to the holder. And only the bill of exchange is valid only if there is the signature of the drawee. So, what are the essentials of a valid acceptance? An acceptance can be said as valid if the following attributes are satisfied. The first important thing is acceptance must be there on the instrument, and the instrument must bear the signature of the drawer, and the accepted instrument must be delivered back to the drawer. That means the drawee should sign on the instrument and it should be sent back to the drawer. Then obviously the drawee signature should be there on the instrument, and if no time is specified for presentation of the bill, it should be presented for acceptance within a reasonable time after it is drawn, provided if no time is specified. Then if bill should be presented for acceptance at the place specified therein, and if no place is specified, it should be presented for acceptance at the drawee's premises of business or his residence. So all important topics have been covered. If you need anything additional, please comment it. Subscribe our channel for more videos. Thank you.